going to do a quick deep dive of the MSQ that we covered today, and it's actually very, very helpful if you guys remind me little bits that I might remember. But these go up on my YouTube as like sort of daily recap vids that I then, yeah, like I put up on my YouTube. Daily recaps for anyone who sort of misses the main bulk of the MSQ. They want a condensed version. They don't have to sift through a whole like 7-hour VOD, 8-hour VOD. They can instead just check out the cooking recaps. So I'll do that now. That's what I want to jump onto. So, and then, hi YouTube, and then, just so you guys know, tomorrow's stream, so today's 28th of November, tomorrow's stream, on the Wednesday, is going to be every single optional dungeon, and then we will work our way through the trials, the extremes, the raid on normal, the raid on savage, and that'll be the plan. But in terms of what MSQ we got through today, so we didn't technically finish 3.2, right? I did do a 3.2 recap recently, a couple days ago, but we hadn't technically, yes, and the 24-player raid, exactly. We hadn't technically finished 3.2. The ending of 3.2 was Emanelaine shooting that poor woman, that poor defenseless barmaid in the stomach. And the ensuing sort of, well, there was a little bit of unrest as a result of that, but it kind of got resolved pretty quickly. It didn't really cause too much of a ruckus, too much of a delay. Yeah, Emanelaine ordered for her to be stopped, yes. Which one of his guards deciphered as him shooting her twice at interval. So that was that. We then had a big old discussion on like yesterday's stream about, you know, class society, empathy towards people in certain positions. And Emanelaine was like, oh, you know, I didn't ask to be put in this position. I didn't ask to be who I am, and yet I've got all this responsibility, and I don't know how to lead, and I don't know how to lead this life. And we had a big discussion about that. We had a big discussion about sort of real-life application of that, which was really interesting, and I liked that. So we cooked IRL. What else happened at the end of that? I think that was oh, and then Estinien comes down, right? Or that was yesterday as well, wasn't it? Estinien comes down at the peace talk. We're gonna finally have the peace talk. Emmerich's finally, you know, yeah, that was later. It was later, but I think, did anything happen between that point and the point that I'm about to talk about now? I don't think so. Remind me if it did, and we can discuss that. But we had the meeting of the peace talk. So Vidofnia flew in, took the red-eye flight, came down, and we had a big old sort of celebratory speech about how there's going to be peace amongst men and dragons. Then Estinien, who is technically the shade of Nidhogg reincarnate, because Estinien got greedy and grabbed both balls and had the balls touch and whatnot. Estinien came down and speared Vidofnia. Didn't kill Vidofnia because no one ever dies in this game, but it was close. And then the sort of ensuing eruption of death to Nidhogg occurred, which was pretty funny, and that sort of set in motion the events again. And yes, you are right, I did miss the grand melee, which was cool, and we fought Raban, and I may have lost to Raban one time because I didn't realize that the like nail spikes around him needed to be killed, so I was just DPSing him, and I was like, oh, this is easy, I got him. DPS check, baby. And then I died, and then we went again. And sorry, yes, after the Grand Melee, I was like, oh, everything's nice, everything's hunky-dory, everything's peaceful again. And then that's when Estinien jumped down from the skies and speared Vidofnia, and then we had the whole death to Nidhogg issues going on. And then we decided as a team that we were going to put an end to Nidhogg, because whilst Nidhogg is alive, there can never truly be peace. We went to Vidofnia, and then subsequently Hraesvelga, and we basically today, that's what today's been heavily about, was Hraesvelga saying, will you come and help us deal with Nidhogg Shade? And Hraesvelga was like, well, no, because that's my brother, dude. The only reason I'm not going to kill you is because of Isael and Shiva, basically. Well, not actually resale, but Shiva. And then we were like, well, it's not actually Nidhogg, it's the shade of Nidhogg. And then Midgard-sama was like, son. And Hraesvelgr was like, but Dad, I don't want to help him. And Midgard-sama was like, son, you will help them. And then Hraesvelgr was like, okay, fine, I'll help. And did I do any cooking today? Like, what was the big cooking that I did? Because I did cook at a certain point. But then after that, obviously, we have the battle with Nidhogg, which was insane. We had the fight with Estinien. And, oh, well, we ripped the orbs off Estinien after the fight and after the battle. And it was really good. The cutscene was really good. Music was really good. Everything was really good. You cooked the oh yes, so we'll get to that, won't we? Yes, I did cook on Estinien. So we didn't do too much cooking today. I mainly just sort of watched everything unfold, watched everything unravel with all the story, and I was glad that 3.3 had one of those make sure you set aside subsequent time to view the, you know, cutscenes in sequence. I always love those moments. Those moments are huge. And we dealt with Nidhogg, finally, once and for all. And Estinien almost died, but didn't quite. We had the reappearance of Oshifon and Isael, and that was quite cute and it's like metaphorical or spiritual or, you know, whatever you want to call it. I did call Mogan the wrong name. I did mistake Mogan and Moglin, and that was bad of me because one of them is fat and the other one is not, and that is a sin of mine. I do apologize. Then when we saw Estinien in hospital, I realized, based on some of the wording he said, that Estinien this whole time has been the antithesis of Nidhogg. So much so that Estinien fueled his power from that of Nidhogg. And so I realized that the whole time, both of these vengeful, just hateful beings, but polar opposites, because one is human and one is dragon, and they hate each other, and they really are the antithesis, and they have this obsession for vengeance. Not even justice, necessarily, but vengeance, and they're blinded by it, both of them. Literally, Nidhogg has his eyes removed. So they are blinded by this obsession, and I realize that they are the antithesis of each other, but ultimately, in the end, Estinien was able to prevail because of that of friendship. And it was friendship that saved the day for Estinien, and Alphinaud not giving up, which is why I like Alphinaud more as a character these days. Alphinaud is growing on me as a character. He clearly just wants to do well, and it's the fact that he will defend his friends no matter what, and I respect that in a character. I respect that in a character, that he just wants everyone to be good and well. I also cooked today, you guys are forgetting, I also cooked that Alisaie is actually a story skipper. We've only seen Alisaie during raid content. And I have the feeling that she is a story skipper, she is a hardcore raider, she is a WoW refugee. She's come over and she's gone, alright, what's Final Fantasy about? And she's decided that she's only interested in the endgame content, she only cares about the raid. So that's what we learned about Alisaie today. Alisaie is confirmed, she is a parser. She uses an ultra-wide monitor and Splatoon. She's just like me. She's just like me. So Alphinaud is the cringe, story, emotional MSQ vampire, and Alisaie is the based Giga Chad raid logger. Yes, that's what we learned today. They are the antithesis of each other. Wait, am I using the word antithesis correct? I don't know. I don't know, dude. I think that's most of what we got done today, and then the sort of conclusion of 3.3. We got, oh, what did we get? We got this. Yo, we got Wind Up Emmerich and Dragon Song Orchestrion Roll. Something that I realized with Heavensward as well today is that Heavensward just outright has the best music. We did rank Heavensward as a whole, and now that I know that the subsequent stuff is going to be building up for Stormblood, I've realized that Heavensward has the best music, some of the best dungeons that I've done so far. Well, the best dungeon I've done so far, the best music I've listened to so far, the best MSQ, pacing, the best zones so far. Every single thing has been an improvement from A Realm Reborn. Not to say A Realm Reborn was bad, not at all. And we realize as well why it's called Heavensward. It's because it's an award-winning expansion. It's the Heavens Award. Because it's been really, really good. And the last final thing I cooked... Oh yeah, and I said the only reason that it's not a 10 out of 10 expansion is because of Bismarck. And what else did I cook? Oh yeah, right at the very, very end of 3.3, we saw Alice and Thancred running away from Elidibus and the Warrior of Darkness. Ah. Can't wait for the YouTube comment explaining why it's not called Heavensward. Yeah, I know. Bait engagements. You like ARR, just wait for Heavensward? I think it was just the fact that Heavensward has been so fantastic. Like, ARR wasn't bad, and I think it's because I didn't know what Heavensward had in store. But even so, I look back on ARR so fondly, and I wouldn't change much about ARR. I wouldn't change much about it, honestly. I think it served its purpose, and it had its place. Also saw the Warrior of Darkness investigating the chasm. Oh, yes! The Warriors of Darkness were also... Yes. We saw the eyes get thrown off the bridge into the abyss. We thought that there's going to be a very strong kobold sitting down there who's, it's their lucky day. But the Warriors of Darkness are looking down at the eyes. So, And then, what do I think is going to happen from here? Where do I think... Would you believe that it just continues to get better? I would believe it. It seems that, like, you can't have the good without the bad. If that, like, it's a very sort of basic way of saying it, but you couldn't have the good without the bad. You need the foundations being set, right? We need this slow unraveling of the Ascians, the slow unraveling of the Empire, the Alligans, the history of the world, and what's been going on. You need all of this to have been established for you to really appreciate where you're going. And so you need the layer by layer by layer built up. So I do believe it will only get better. And it can only get better because of what we've built so far. In terms of what I think is going to happen next, I don't know. I think Stormblood is probably going to be... I think Stormblood is going to be focused on faction warfare. I think it's going to be between... So, you know, in Uldar, we have the whole Ultima weapon. It's not in Uldar, but it's, like, outside of Uldar. It's that land that all of the armies sort of... They, like, wargame there because it's not... And it's like, they're allowed to get away with it because it's, like, neutral land or something. But that... Karnu. Is it Karnu? And there's the Ultima weapon there. It must be Karnu, because that's why they wanted Dalamud to hit Karnu in the first place, right? Something like that. To reveal the Ultima weapon, I believe. Like, Ultima Weapon 2.0. So... Yeah, there's like the Omega thing. There's... Oh, is it the Omega Protocol? I think it might be. I think they might have even told me that. Could be the Omega Protocol, couldn't it? Interesting. So I think that's what Stormblood's going to be about. Yeah, I think that's what it's going to be about. Is the sort of faction warfare there. And continuing that story. In terms of the Empire, I'm not 100% sure. Right now, they're actually just Team Rocket. And I would like to see them sort of step up and do a little bit... something a little bit more interesting. Now they've got a new Emperor. I'd like to see them really, you know... Really make some moves. Really pick up the pace on whatever they're doing. The Ascians, I think... Oh, yes. I think we're also going to have a lot more contact time with Warrior of Darkness. I think this is going to be a Warrior of Darkness expansion. We had so many moments where we built this Warrior of Darkness up that I think they're not going to stall for a whole nother expansion on Warrior of Darkness, right? Like... Surely we're going to find out more of what's going on there in Stormblood. Surely they wouldn't bait us for a whole expansion. Because I feel like the Astions is something that's going to continue till Endwalker, but the Warrior of Darkness I don't feel like needs to permeate through. Like, that's probably a one expansion story, is a Warrior of Darkness. Yeah. Okay. That's my cooking so far. That's what I think's going to happen. I also... Yeah. Did we also discuss Minfilia? And that Minfilia's come back as the word of the mother? We did speak about that, didn't we? Yeah, of course we did. That's in a different video. Okay, cool. Yeah, so we've covered that. We've covered all that stuff. Amazing. Perfect. So that's my cooking completed. I like doing those little wrap-ups. I'll throw that up on YouTube in a minute. I'll throw that up and get that loaded, go to the gym and post it later tonight. But you guys have all been here for it, so you guys don't mind. But, awesome.